What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Waters, and welcome to NoLifeTilMetal. Going to be doing another rock metal update. That's right. Time for another rock metal update. This one is also going to be all 12-inch vinyl. I just did one not too long ago, showing off some thrash and heavy metal and prog and some other stuff in there. This is going to be all live albums. A lot of bootlegs in here. Some of them aren't. I'll try and just know which ones aren't, which ones are. Starting right off, this is one I've had since Record Store Day. I had to grab this thing when it came out. This is Live at the Rainbow, London, England, 1972. Legendary Yes on the Close to the Edge tour. This is a fantastic live album. If you like Yes, that classic 70s stuff, you know, very proggy, long tracks, just big old jams. Chris Squire just, you know, destroying that Rickenbacker bass. This thing is just fantastic, and I highly recommend it. I don't think it's impossible to find like some of the other Record Store Day stuff. I didn't get to go to Record Store Day this year, and none of my friends could find this one either when they went out, but I found this one online, and it wasn't overly priced. So I missed like a few things, like the Foghat Youngstown. That thing is, excuse me, not Foghat, UFO Live at Youngstown. That thing is like $200 and it's holding at that price, and I've never been able to find other copies. So this one is not that, though. So Yes fans, highly recommended. Great album. I believe it's a radio broadcast. The sound is fantastic. You got Siberian, Katura, 9 minutes long. I've Seen No Good People, 7.5 minutes long. Heart of the Sunrise, 12 minutes long. And You and I, nearly 10 minutes long. Close to the Edge, 18 minutes long. The excerpts from The Six Wives of Henry VIII, which is, of course, from the Rick Wakeman solo album. That's nearly 7 minutes long. Roundabout, which is little over 8 minutes long. Yours Is No Disgrace, almost 12 minutes long. And Starship Trooper, which is 10 minutes long. Like I said, great album, 3-disc set, and not overpriced if you can find a decent copy. All right, next up, some more prog. This is a classic album, Pink Floyd Live at Pompeii. This album reminds me of my past. I grew up in New Jersey, and me and my friend Nick passed away, gosh, just about a little over a year ago now, and he was one of my best friends growing up. And him and I and some of our other friends, Chris Bade, what's up, Chris? If you see this, Brian Cato, what's up, Brian? We used to go to like the midnight movies and watch Pink Floyd at Pompeii. It was just one of those things we did. You know, you just go, you hang out and watch a movie. You know, there was no internet, there was no YouTube and all that kind of stuff, so we did stuff like that. We sat around in his basement, kind of like That 70s Show, listening to music, and Pink Floyd was one of those bands we were heavily into, especially this trippy stuff. And anyhow, when they announced this was officially coming out on vinyl, I was all over it, so I grabbed me a copy of it. It is a double album. It sounds fantastic. Did a great job with the mastering, whoever did it, and nice packaging as well, gatefold. Well worth picking up, and I believe it was released on DVD as well, or maybe it was Blu-ray, but I just don't watch stuff like I used to. I listen to a lot of music, but this one is a bootleg. This is Between Hopeful and the Damned, live at the old Refectory, 1969, Pink Floyd. Again, early Pink Floyd stuff. Astronomy Domine, Careful with That Axe Eugene, Interstellar Overdrive, Green Is the Color, Beset by the Creatures of the Deep, and A Saucer Full of Secrets. I think by 69, Sid Barrett was no longer in the band. I meant to look that up before I started this video and never did. But because pictured on here is, you can see David Gilmour. So I'm pretty sure it was David Gilmour by that point. But Gilmour's not shown on the cover. He's only on the back cover. So you can see the rest of the band here. But yeah. No guitar player, but on the back there he is. So yeah, another one. Great sound, early stuff, trippy, psychedelic, Pink Floyd. I love that stuff. I actually prefer that stuff to the more popular stuff like The Wall and, you know, stuff like that. I do like The Wall and stuff like that, but I don't barely ever listen to it. When I get in a mood for Pink Floyd, I'm pulling out A Saucer Full of Secrets and the theme from More and that kind of trippy stuff. And this is another one, Paris Theater, 1970. Again, not that far off from the other one. So you got the Embryo, Fat Old Sun, Green Is the Color, If, and then the B-side is 25 minutes of Adam Hart Mother Alone. And you can see the Dark Side of the Moon on the front, Dark Side of the Moon, get it? Huh? Anyhow, there's a bootleg called Dark Side of the Moon that I used to have in the 70s and have yet to get back in my collection. All right, another bootleg. This one is fantastic. This is hard rock, this is Kiss, early metal, whatever you want to call it. But this is really early Kiss. This is 73. So you've got Nothing to Lose, which made it to the first album. Firehouse, which made it to the first album. Deuce, 100,000 Years, Watching You, and Let Me Go, all made it to the first album. Then you've got Life in the Woods, which is an 8-minute like jam, which is odd for them. Simple Tripe, which is also 8 minutes long, and then Acrobat, which is a little over 7 minutes long. So very cool to get 3 songs that they played early that never made it to any Kiss album. And the sound quality is really good on this thing. It's got to be some kind of soundboard recording or radio recording, because it sounds fantastic. I'm not saying it's like perfect digital album quality. Obviously, it's an old analog recording, but for 73, this thing is well worth checking out and getting into. Nice packaging. I honestly, anything from this label, which is the Verney label, seems to be always have great sound. So I don't know if they're picky about their sound or they just have a really good studio engineer, or maybe it's both, but well worth picking up. I picked this thing up at Rockadrome. Unfortunately, when I was there, what I was there for was they had a couple of Thin Lizzy booths that I wanted. They were both BBC recordings of Thin Lizzy. I missed out on them both, but while I was there, I grabbed that and Alive in Lansing, October 1974. So now they've gotten rid of all those other tracks that they were playing early on. So you've got Deuce, Strutter, Got to Choose, Firehouse, She, Nothing to Lose, Parasite. That's a hit. That is a metal song by any definition of metal from 1974. 100,000 Years, Black Diamond, Let Me Go Rock and Roll, and Cold Gin. Again, great packaging, same label, Verney. Yeah, if anybody knows where I can get the Thin Lizzy Verney releases that they did recently, let me know, because Rockadrome is pretty much the only place I ever see carries them, and they've been out of stock for quite a while. All right, this I believe is an official album. It's called Alice Cooper, Theater of Death, live at Hammersmith 2009. It comes with a DVD of the show, which I've yet to see. I've only listened to this thing twice. It's got a fantastic set list. Which I can't see because it came with this little replica concert ticket. And it's even got the perforation on it where you tear off the stub. Obviously, I'm not going to tear the stub off, but this has got a lot of great songs in there. It's got classics, it's got newer stuff, and the band is superb. I mean, they're just tight as they need to be. You know what I mean? It's rock and roll. You don't want it too tight. It's not supposed to be perfect, but it's pretty darn good. And I cannot get this ticket stub back in here without... All right, forget it. We'll just pull the record out of this sleeve instead, since I'm fighting with a piece of plastic. All right, so you got School's Out, Department of Youth, I'm 18, Wicked Young Man, which is a newer song, Ballad of Dwight Fry, Go to Hell, Guilty, Welcome to My Nightmare, Cold Ethel, Poison, The Awakening, From the Inside, Nurse Rosetta. It's really cool that he's playing some songs from the inside. I always thought that was a great, underrated album. Is It My Body, Be My Lover, Only Women Bleed, I Never Cry, Black Widow, The Black Widow, Vengeance Is Mine, Devil's Food, Dirty Diamonds, $1 Billion Babies, Killer, I Love the Dead, No More Mr. Nice Guy, Under My Wheels, and School's Out. A gatefold, lots of great photos. Like I said, it came with the little ticket stub and the DVD, and it wasn't an overly priced album. I think it was $30 or under, like $29.99 or something like that, which I actually put it in my cart and held it there for a while, hoping it would drop in price, but it never did, so I finally grabbed it before it disappeared, like a lot of these pressings do. They don't ever seem to come out again. All right, this is another bootleg. This is Heaven in Hartford, Connecticut, broadcast 1980, Black Sabbath, Dio, great sound quality. It obviously is from the Heaven and Hell tour, so there's a lot of Ozzy era stuff on here. So you've got Superstars, Introduction, War Pigs, Neon Nights, NIB, Children of the Grave, Sweet Leaf, Black Sabbath, Heaven and Hell, Iron Man, bands Jam, and that's what it is, a jam, Die Young, Paranoid, and Children of the Grave. Gatefold, 2 LP set, sounds great, had to be a radio broadcast. The crowd is there, but they're not overwhelming, so it's not a crowd recording. It may very well be a soundboard recording, I don't know, but very good recording. Fallen Angel Records. No idea where you can get this from now. I picked this thing up. I believe I picked that one also up from Rockadrome. Alright, I've got 2 left here, and then we'll be done. Rush, live, 1975, live in Northampton. And this is another one on the Verni label. There, as you can see the Verni right there. Again, very similar packaging to all the Verni ones with the collage in the back. There's no inserts or anything like that, but classic stuff on here. So you've got Finding My Way, Best I Can, What You're Doing, Anthem by Tour, and the Snow Dog. Parts 1, 2, and 3, and then part 4 is on side 2. And then you got Bad Boy, Working Man, and Need Your Love. And Working Man is like, gosh, like 13 and a half minutes long. So great recording. If you're into that, I like 70s Rush has always been my favorite. Up and through 1980 when they did Moving Pictures, those albums, there's just not one that I don't love the entire albums. After that, I still have all the Rush albums. I still like the Rush albums, but they were a little more spotty to me. They weren't as solid. They were less guitar driven and they were more keyboard driven, which was never a big thing for me, but they're still good. It's just I love the 70s stuff, especially this raw, heavy, early stuff. I mean, essentially, you know, people will argue with me till they're blue in the face that Rush were never a metal band, and maybe they weren't, but they definitely were one of the precursors to metal and one of the big influences in metal. And this last one is an official release. This is Mott the Hoople, and this is Live at Hammersmith 73, the classic Mott album, two LP set: Jupiter, Driving Sisters, Sucker, Sweet Jane, Sweet Angeline, Rose, Roll Away the Stone, All the Young Dudes, Jerkin, Crocus, One of the Boys, Rock and Roll Queen, Get Back, Whole Lot of Shakin', Violence, Walkin' with a Mountain, Jerkin, Crocus, Sucker, Violence, Medley. And then the album was recorded at the Odeon Theater in Hammersmith in 1973, with a couple of the tracks on the end being recorded at the in New York in 1974. So there you go. That's the last one in this edition, but huge, like I said, I don't know. I've been a Mott the Hoople and an 800 fan for decades, but you know, you kind of go through spells with bands, and with Mott the Hoople, I was a huge fan back in the 80s and into the 90s, and had their stuff sitting on the shelf. I just didn't revisit them very often, and then suddenly in the last couple years I've been on this like crazy Mott the Hoople kick and just listening to all this Mott the Hoople and Ian Hunter stuff again, so just reinvigorated by the band and just loving this, especially the 70s stuff. But yeah, great album, not real expensive. You can get this one on Amazon, anywhere else. So that's it. So appreciate y'all watching once again. Leave a message below, thumbs up. I try to respond to everybody, and I appreciate you all. God bless and stay strong.